Hello, everybody. I'm actually a little bit early for a change. So let me just bring this down a little bit. There we go. That's a bit better. Right. So thanks to everybody for joining me this evening. Really appreciate it. I'm just going to get the chat and then I can talk to you all at the same time. I'm never quite prepared. So let me just bring my chat on.
Introducing.
Apologies. We have Harry in, we have Tara, we have Heather. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining in. Really appreciate it. And I now have the chat as well, which is very, very handy. So at least I can see what's going on when everybody says hello. So thanks, everyone. This is being streamed from my new MacBook. So hopefully the sound is okay and hopefully the picture is okay for you guys. Hey, Chris. Hey, Cutty. Hello. Hi, Umar. Thanks for joining. Umar is, by the way, Irresistible Parfums over on Instagram. And as a result of me winning a load of discovery packs with a very generous giveaway from Umar, this is why I'm here with Fragrance du Bois. And this is one of their discovery sets. So there are 10 fragrances in here. And you won't be able to see this, but just next to me here, I have written out already my tester strips with the names on, so I'm all prepared. And I've got them in order. So the idea behind this is, with the discovery packs, we'd all love to find something that we love, a new love. Wouldn't that be lovely? That's the ideal scenario, that I find something in here that I fall in love with. Now, it might not be the case. I might have to go for a few discovery packs to find something I love. Now, a lot of these are going to be oud-based fragrances, which does, I'm going to be honest, it scares me a little bit, but I am hoping I like something. And what I'll do at the end of it, I'll maybe pick out a couple of favorites and things based on my taste, what I like and what I would recommend. So let's just say hello to a few other people we have in. We have Taffy. Hi, Taffy. Thanks for joining. We have Paul. Thank you, Paul. Can't wait for you to try these. Thank you for joining me, Umar. I appreciate it. It's obviously very difficult sometimes for people to give up their Sunday evening, so I do appreciate you all being here, and I mean that. Hi, Kit Kat. Thanks for joining. We have two cutties in the house. Hello, hello. We have Wayne. Thank you, everybody. Tara, I hope puppy's okay. I hope doggies are doing well now and you're getting some more sleep. Fingers crossed. So we have 16 people in the house. I'm just going to leave it a couple more minutes and then we'll dive straight in. So we have Inyat in the house. Hi, Inyat. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Oh, guys, so glad your fur baby's doing okay. Really happy to be here and we'll be here more often. Well, thank you very much. I will be doing some more discoveries on my lives. If you haven't visited my channel, I like to do, I like to get guests on. I do try and mix it up a bit with my reviews as well. We review different houses, different fragrances. So I like to bring you a mixture of niche, maybe some clones and maybe also some designer fragrances. I don't do as many of those. But I tend to sort of review the stuff I really enjoy. A lot of Middle Eastern stuff more recently as well, which this fits in perfectly with. So very, very looking forward to doing this. Hi, John. Thanks for joining, mate. Appreciate it. We have Heather, obviously. We have Scott. Hi, Scott. So the numbers are good. Thank you. I just can't believe that you're all here. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. So what is everybody drinking? What is everybody wearing today? So drop in the chat what has been your scent of the day. I am taking a leaf out of Nigel's book and I have got some Red Stripe. That is my beer of the evening. Hello, Becca. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. We have Brian in the house as well. Thank you. Tony just came home from football practice. Not as sweaty. I do miss football practice though. I promised that I would wear this for Russell. So if Russell joins the chat, we'll have to let him know that I am wearing my retro Spurs top. They had a great result today. Hey, D'Angelo, thanks for joining, mate. Appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Christina in the house as well. Thank you, thank you. So what is people? We've got Taffy's wearing Atkinson's Ood Save the Queen. Heard good things about that. Not tried it myself. What else have we got here? Cutty's wearing Champagne Meadow Tea by Nose Parfums. Sounds very nice. So, drinking cider and wearing a few Rosa Salases today. Very nice. Scent of the Day by Terry Rouge. Nocturne. Scent of the Night was Annie by Nashane. Very nice. One I enjoy too. Le Lion de Chanel from Christina. And Drinking Lilt and wearing Santel Noir by Dior. I see your post today. Very nice. And Drinking Lilt. Very nice. I haven't had Lilt for years. Lilt is lovely. Not had that tropical goodness for a long time. I'll pour a breakfast bourbon soon. Very nice wine. I'm all Russian leather today. Russian tea by Masquet and just sampled Nose Parfums Lumberman. Very nice. John is saying hello to everyone. And Oud Immortel from By Radio. Excellent. Danza del Labou from Heather. Very nice. Right, so we get stuck in. We have some lovely people in the chat, so thank you for all joining me. Right, let's get digging. Is the sound okay for everybody? Is it loud enough? I just want to make sure that everyone can hear me okay. I am planning on getting a decent USB mic to plug into the MacBook, so hopefully I can bring you improved sound soon. So nice. Sounds good. Sound is fine. Weird British accent on your voice, mate. Sorry about that. Can't help that, I'm afraid. Right, so we get stuck in. So the first fragrance, loud and clear, it's good, Tony. Thank you, Wayne. Appreciate that. So we have Oud Rose Intense is the first one I'm going to be trying. Now, Rose Oud, to me, I like it. And as people know, I've been very, very, thank you, Umar. I've been very, very clear that, and very honest, that Oud Rose I like. It's not my favourite. Now, there are some I prefer more than others, but I've smelt so many Rose Oud now. I don't think I'm tired of it. I think they're all very different from each other, and the rose and different things can be different, but it's just, when you smell it, it's at Rose Oud again. But let's give this one. So one of my least favourites because of the opening, but the dry down's beautiful. Right, okay, well, let's give this a go. I think my reaction to some of these, please don't take any offence, is I'm a little bit sensitive to some oud fragrances, and if it's a bit too animalic for me, I will be honest and say, right, I've sprayed plenty on there. Let's leave that a second or two. Hi, Lizzie, thanks for joining. Smelt musky and boring, okay. Oh, okay. Now that is different to what I was expecting. Very different, actually. Let's just make sure I've got the right one there, because that isn't as strong as I thought it would be. I've lost a sample already. Great. Here we go. Right. So Oud Rose Intense. Now, actually, that's not. It's got some citruses in the top. Now, what would be good is if we could get some notes on the screen. So I don't know. Let's see if there's a way of doing that. Can you all still see me okay if I do that? I'm just opening a new tab. So let me search and Rose Oud Intense. I'm just typing that in. I'm going to click on that, and then I'm just going to go through the notes with you and tell you what I get from it. Now, this is not cheap. You can pick up a 50 ml for £295. So they are quite pricey. but I knew that anyway. Now let me just run. I hope everyone can see me okay. Right, so in the top of this, we have, it says that it's a complex aromatic with fruity beginning, giving way to the essence of rose and geranium before melding into the heart of sandalwood and amber, with nuances of exotic oud, a long-lasting base. So I would say with this, it's not as strong an oud in there at all. Now I'm just going to spray more because actually, this is strange. This is not, it doesn't smell like a typical rose oud fragrance to me at all. This is a bit citrusy in the top, or a little bit fruity, a little bit woody, and quite musky, I think. I might be wrong there, but I'm not getting really a lot of oud in there at all. And I'm certainly not getting lots of rose. It's a little bit floral. But that is, it surprised me because I was expecting that to be a bit of a bomb, and it's not. It's good, I like it, and actually I'm probably quite relieved because, was this the one that smells like cherry popsicle? It does smell a little bit cherry-like. Yeah, it's sort of musky, a little bit rosy, maybe a jammy rose, but it's not a strong rose fragrance. That, I like it. I like it a lot. But not that strong an oud in this. It's not challenging at all. So I, at the moment, will rate that around a 7. But what I would say about that, it's not the strongest fragrance in the world. It's not actually that very intense, being honest. But, and I was a bit scared about that. I thought that would be really, really heavy rose oud, and it's not at all. It's actually very, very pleasant. I would say that's very mass appealing, very, very easy to wear. So there we go. So that is Ood Rose Intense. Let's go back to the chat. When I smelled this one, I was sample. Can't remember where I got it, so there's possibility my sample wasn't great. Too expensive for most of them, or not. At least the ones I've tried. I like Oud Orange Intense the most out of the 10 or so I sampled. Okay, that's the next one I'm going to try. Zero interest in FDP, but I like watching people talk about perfume. Was this one that smells like cherry popsicle? Same here, David. Oh yes, I was wrong. Oud Noir has the strongest oud opening. Okay, Wayne. This becomes a pretty good smoky rose and a dry down, but didn't like the opening. I like, but not a love. Yes, I wouldn't say a love. I think Bex would really like that because it's quite light and it's quite pretty, but not, a man or a female could wear it. Definitely very unisex. It's almost got like this light airiness to it. It's quite, not minty, but I think Bex would really like that. I'm very, very surprised. Have you got any, have you got the Amber Intense? Let me have a look. No, I've not got the Amber Intense there, Scott. Right, so let's move on to the next one, otherwise we'll be here all night. So we've got Oud Orange Intense is the next one I'm going to spray. Oud Orange Intense. Super happy that I'm trying these. Thank you so much, Umar. I would never have spent this sort of money on all of these discovery sets. So this to me is like invaluable, to getting my nose on different things that ordinarily would be outside of my budget. Oh, wow. Okay. Now this is different kettle of fish. This is, wow. Now this, ooh, that is good. Wow. Oh God, that's good. Now again, so light, not challenging in the slightest. Spy Mash in the house. Hello. Good to see you. Now this, Heather, you would like this. This is goes in a little bit of a gourmand territory, I would say. This is creamy orange. Brian mentioned a cherry popsicle. This is an orange popsicle. This is, wow, nothing challenging in there at all. Let me just get the notes up on this one. Ooh, this is good. Oud Orange Intense. Again, I don't get much oud from there. Probably a supporting note, but that is suiting me down to the ground. Now, A 50 ml of this is £325. Excuse me, sorry. Right, so, oh wow, okay. Now this makes sense. It's reminiscent of basking on a beach in warm sunshine. The fragrance immediately assails the senses with coconut, fruity opening, with purity of vanilla bourbon, and in the heart contains some musk and some oud. Now, going by the notes, if I'd read the notes of this before, I would have probably have guessed this would have been my favourite. Now, wow, I would say that is that a love? That is so, so good. Yeah, I've got John there, Tara in the pack. I don't know who's tiny pity about the top. Sorry about that. This is very, yes, Umar, you're right. This is blended incredibly well. The coconut in this is, yeah. This I imagine it's something like, yes, it's like an orange creamy lolly. Oh, Lizzie, you would love this too. It's just literally, I couldn't explain more how much this is up my street. Now, it's one of those where, for the money, obviously, I'm not used to spending that sort of money on fragrances, so I'm probably the wrong person to be talking about these fragrances in the first place. But if money wasn't any issue to me at all, I would 100% pick this up tomorrow or tonight. I'd be online ordering this. Whether I could say it's worth that money, I haven't got it on skin yet. I haven't worn it. Who am I to judge whether it's worth the money or not anyway? Little old me. I can't judge that. But what I can say is, it's a good perfume. It is very, very nice. And whoa, that is incredible. Now, I'm going to give it an initial rating. I'll go back to it. I'm going to say that for me is 9 out of 10. Just for my taste. Tony, how is your... It's not coming along at all, Kit Kat. I've been very, very good. I've bought a load of Middle Eastern fragrances, a load of budget fragrances, a load of stuff for the channel, really. And yeah, none of the stuff that I really want in my collection has been added at the moment. Whoa, that is good. Paul, you would like that as well. There's a lot of people in this chat I know would love that. Right, let's move on to the next one. Right, this is called Ood Jean Intense. Now, I'm not sure if I've just ruined the pronunciation of that. I probably have. And if I have, I apologise. Right, let's look this one up first. Let's be a little bit more professional. Ood Jean Intense by Nathalie Chetto, or Nathalie Chetto. And a 50 ml of this is £295, so a little bit cheaper than the Oud Orange Intense. Now, this has in it some fruity florals, ylang-ylang pineapple, nice, and that gives away to white floral heart of jasmine and orange blossom. Has pervasive oud, adds richness, and then it also has some milky vanilla. Now, this, looking at the notes as well, I should like this, as long as the oud isn't too strong. But going by the previous two, I don't think it's going to be. So this this sounds very, very nice. The notes definitely sing to me. Spray plenty on there. Oh, wow, okay. Now that is very, very white floral. Lots of white floral. Bex would really like this, I think, as well. Jasmine heavy, I would say, with definitely lots of orange blossom too. So the main notes, a bit of ylang-ylang. So obviously I can't pick those out individually, but what I can pick out is those white florals. If you'd said to me, is there more than one white floral, I would have 100% have said yes, because it doesn't just smell of jasmine. I know what jasmine smells like, and this is lots and lots of white florals, but very, very pretty, very feminine. Not something I don't think personally I'd be comfortable wearing, but I really do love the smell of that. And another one Bex will like. Now, this is a shame she can't do this with me, because so far I think she would have liked all three. Not a fan of John, but as you know, not a fan of white floral fragrances. Yeah, of course. I mean, if you're not a fan of jasmine or ylang ylang, I think maybe stay clear of this. But what I would say is that it's a very, very nice scent profile, and you definitely get in hints of vanilla in there. It's quite sweet. I've smelt something like it before. Hi, Chad. Thanks for joining. Becomes milky and creamy. Yeah, I think I'd like the dry down a little bit more because maybe the white florals die a little bit, and then you're left with that vanilla and some musk again. But that again is very good. Now I'm going to rate it a little bit higher than the first one as an overall composition, and I'm going to say that's an 8 out of 10. Very, very nice fragrance. And if you're wanting something luxury that's white floral, I'd say that's a great shout. Not what's up again, and it's staying quite strong on the paper. It's definitely there, and I don't think it would change lots. I think maybe the vanilla starts to come through a bit later, but very, very sweet. So that is good. If you like your white florals, I think you'd like that. You may have smelt other things that are like it. It reminds me, not sure what it reminds me of, but I've smelt something. I've smelt things that are maybe like it. But that's white florals and vanilla. That I'm going to have done, aren't I? So that's good. I like that. A little bit better than the first one, I would say. Right now, I see rave reviews on this. I've seen this all over Instagram. This next one. Let's catch up with the chat. Right, so this is, let's see if you can see that, Sarah. Now, I've seen this a lot mentioned, but I still don't know what is in it. So let me look up the notes. This is the good thing about doing these discoveries and I think it's probably good that I don't look up the notes first because I've got no expectations until I smell them. So I really am truly getting a first impression. And then as I spray them, you can see I've got the notes in front of me now. Now, this one isn't cheap. 100 ml is £695 and 50 ml is £395. Has anyone tried this one? It has a floral, so it has grapefruit and rose, geranium and jasmine, and that blends softly into base notes as patchouli, sandalwood, saffron, vanilla, amber, and oud. So again, I think I would like this. It's got some nice notes. Let's see what else people have been saying. Right, this one's heaven to me, but you have to give it 5 minutes. Bit stronger oud opening. Okay, I'm looking forward to that because I've not had a heavy oud opening in these yet. Nothing's really shocked me. Beautiful, says Umar. Neutral about this one, says Catty. I love Sarah, one of the best from the house. So this gets, so I can tell from the chat straight away, if Tony hates this, I'm unsubbing. Most people have unsubbed just for the Spurs top, Brian. So, you know, let's get the fragrance out. Sarah, right. So there's the sample. Spray it onto. Okay, right. Can't spray it on that hand. Can spray it there though. So let's give this a spray. I'm going to spray it on paper like I have with the others, and I'm going to spray a little bit of this one on my hand as well. Okay, well that's leaving straight away a much more, much sort of coloured residue on the paper than the others have. Oh wow, okay. Ooh, right. Much, much stronger. Everybody is right. Everybody's right on this. Whoa, okay. Now, yes, you're right. Oh, right. Now, Lizzie is bang on. They are so different. You can see how that's tinted the paper, look. And the others haven't really done that. That's Rose Ood Intense. No staining. So this one's, I can tell straight away, has got much more oud in it. It's just ever so slightly more animalic than the last three that I've just tried. Definitely far more interesting fragrance, I would say. Far more interesting. Now there's some almost like some, not herbal, but some what's the medicinal? It's like a medicinal, slight medicinal smell to it. It's not a barnyardy oud, but it smells a little bit more challenging than the last three. It is. There's some animalics in there, I would say, but it's not something I personally dislike. Becca would not like this. I can tell you that now. But I can really appreciate that what it is. It's got some smokiness in there at all. I don't think there's any. Don't think there's. It's like an incensey smell, but I don't think there's any incense listed. It's like a slightly smoky oud that's slightly medicinal, slight and very woody. It's got this like creamy nature to it, but there's something in there that's really tickling the nostrils, and I'm not quite sure what that is. It's the saffron. There we go. So yeah. So it's got this sweet spice to it as well. And I would say, obviously, it's only got saffron listed there. And I think there's probably quite a lot of that in there. I like saffron fragrances, and yeah, it's that's very interesting. As a composition, I would say more interesting than the last three. I personally don't like it for my taste as much as Ood Orange Intense, but a fantastic fragrance nonetheless. Some of those tickle my nostrils. I like it. This has got something very, very interesting. Right, I'll go back to that. Umar, good point. Go back to it in 10 minutes. And the transforms. Now, I can imagine it's leaving a nice, like, sort of glade. I don't know if you can see that with the light. It's leaving like a really nice layer on my hand. So it's really stuck to the skin. So I can imagine this lasts forever. It's got that composition. But I'm going to go back to that. At the moment, on first impressions, just because I don't like it as much as Oud Orange Intense for my taste, I'm going to go 8.5 out of 10. Definitely better than the other two. Much more interesting. Wow. Secret hint of Terre de Hem's in it. Yeah, I can see that. It's got like this, like I said, Terre de Hem's got that. It's got this like this. It might be the grapefruit, Brian. It's got this sort of slight bitterness to it. I would say that's probably a great way of explaining it. But it's almost like a spiced chocolate in a way. It's whether that's the patchouli, but it's that's good, really good. And I'm really looking. I'm going to go back to that. We'll go back to that shortly. That's overpowered this little area as well. So this is an absolute beast. Can't hide. Wow, but yeah, I'm probably telling from my reaction from that. That is something else. So I'm going to keep smelling that. There's something really addictive about that fragrance. Wow. Okay. Now I love doing this. This is incredible. Getting to learn these new fragrances. That's good. Right. Brunda Martin. Now, I don't know the pronunciation of that. I probably horrendously got wrong. Brunda Martin. Tony will have robbed a bank by the end of the week. I think I'm going to need to, because there is two there at least. Oh, lovely. Let's move on to this next one. I'm just going to check out, just going to get the notes on the screen again. Now, one thing I would say about doing these lives, I don't know if anyone's done this or would do it, but you're getting your live reaction on camera, and there's no hiding away. Yeah, you can look at the notes like you can anybody, but I've got to accurately describe this to you in the way that I only know how, and that's by telling you what I smell. Now, people are going to get different things from it, and I don't know if I'm the best at explaining fragrances. So I'm no expert, and there's some people out there that explain fragrances, I think, far more eloquently and more in a more sophisticated, educated way than I do. And I always get a little bit worried about doing this type of this type of a discovery, because what I get might be completely different to other people, and I might be describing something where someone in the chat is going, what is he talking about? And there's probably going to be the case. So I apologize if I'm not going to get something similar to you, but I can only tell you what I get, and I'll try and bring that in the best way possible. Hello, Ant. Thanks for joining, mate. Appreciate it. So this next one is Brunda Martin. Let me go through the notes with you. And yes, and happy birthday, mate. Thanks for joining us on your birthday. It's Ant's birthday. Let's all wish Ant happy birthday. Many happy returns, mate. Have a good one. Hope you've had a good day and you've been spoiled. Fingers crossed. So this says it's opening with hints of mandarin and bergamot. Oh, wow. Okay, here we go. Introduction of a new day, witnessed by the shores of the Mediterranean. Juicy and invigorating. Early fruticals are augmented in the fragrance heart by peach and plum. And then you get, you get rose, violet, jasmine, and some delicate flowers, base notes. So there's lots of notes in this one. Wood, amber, white musk provide the perfect sweet, creamy undertones. So this sounds like it's a fruity fragrance with some depth to it. So let's see what we get from this one. Yeah, Brian is fantastic at discovering, sort of explaining fragrances, definitely. There's some people, John's brilliant at it, Lizzie's brilliant at it. There's too many people to mention, and I'm sorry if I've missed you out, but there's some people that are incredible at explaining fragrances. Heard peach and plum. Yeah, this is now, immediately, this is really, really fruity. I've not even gone to the paper yet, and it's aquatic to me. This is an aquatic fragrance. It is a warm weather fragrance to me as well, but it has got some depth. There is some strength to it. This isn't your typical designer aquatic. This is nice. This is really clean. This is something you could wear every single day of the year and smell good. This is, on paper and how I'm smelling this should be one of my favorites. I would say it's not as interesting as some of the others. I wouldn't dispute that for one moment, especially smelling this again. This is getting sweeter as it goes. But this, trying to compare it to something, it's got a very, very, I wouldn't say it's a deep fruit. Now, if you told me to guess the fruits in this, I would have said some citruses, definitely some bergamot and definitely some other citruses. I wouldn't necessarily have said there's like plum, or even maybe peach in there. It's got this sort of almost watery consistency, but then it's got some depth too. Some woods in the background. It's quite soft, but it's got some depth. I can imagine this lasting, but very, very versatile, very, very unisex. Citrus shows up for me too. Yeah, this is more citrus than it is fruits. Now, this says about ripening fruit in the mid, but it's nothing like other ripened fruit fragrances that I've tried. It's not very musky, very, very musky. It's not fruity, I would say. It's more citrusy. It smells like there's a floral in here as well. It smells like there's something in there that's slightly floral. Now, that might be a bit of white musk that coming across like that, but there's just a hint. Hi, Claire. Thanks for joining. Just a hint of floral in there, but it's more a citrusy aquatic fragrance with some depth, with some musk and some woods. It's not unpleasant at all. Actually, if you're comparing this to a fragrance that would give you some depth, I would say it's along the lines of maybe a Xerjoff blue bottle fragrance. Very, very pleasant. Very, very. There's no way. I don't think anybody could not like this. If they're smelling fragrance du bois, hi, hello there, Mia. Thanks for joining. That's good. It's really good, and I would say that is a little bit better than Oud Rose Intense. I'm going to go 7.5 on that one, only because I'm not completely blown away by it. But I always do this. When I go to fragrances, I end up picking something I know I'm going to wear a lot. And I know if I had this in the collection, if it magically appeared into my collection, I would wear it a lot. And for that reason, I'm going to say it's a great fragrance, but it's nowhere near as interesting as the others that I've tried. And this is getting better, you're right. It's incredible, actually. And it's still leaving that sheen on the hand. So that is Brunda Martin. Right, next we have Santel Complete or Complete. Mia might be able to help me out with some of this. Yes, the FDB connoisseur. Right. So Santel Complete. Let's see what this has in it. Now this one, if I can get it loaded, this is nowhere near as expensive as the other fragrances that we've just done there. It's only available on the FDB website for in the 100ml, and it is £245. So this is one of their sort of cheaper line. I know it's not cheap, but it's one of their cheaper line of fragrances. And let me just run through the notes with you. So this has bright lemony notes, heart of violet and black pepper, and then it has creamy base notes of sandalwood, amber, musk, and vanilla. So again, I think this is something I'm going to like. The notes again are singing to me. Now Santel, someone could remind me of the meaning of Santel, because I've forgotten what that means, and we've gone through this before. Right. Yeah, so if they sold a 50ml of that, I probably would have bought it already. It was okay on me, but it went slightly aniseed. Okay. And M3 believes this is their best fragrance. Okay. Santal Sandalwood, thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, yeah, so this almost has like it's very sweet. It's got a bit of sweetness to it. It's not as sweet as Ood Orange Intense. There's a touch of smokiness in there, a touch of smokiness. There's something in there, a spice again that's tickling my nose slightly. Just stop by, say hello, I'll catch up. Thank you, Mia. Hello, Funky, thanks for joining. Right, let me just spray a little bit more of that, because it's not the strongest in the opening as some of the others. I've probably done some coffee beans next to me to reset my nose. But there's heavy on it is heavy on the sandalwood, I would say. There's quite a lot of sandalwood in this, but I would say a hint of something smoky and a hint of some spice. That is interesting, pleasant, nice, lemony notes. Okay, so it's got a little bit of citrus in the top. Amber, lots of amber, I would say. Definitely an ambery fragrance. I can't see any spices, but something's tickling my nose again. Black pepper, there we go, that's what it is. So, it's nice. Now, I think this would be better on skin. Smells like coconut cookie to me. Yeah, there's a little bit of sort of like a baked good feel to it. It's nice. Baby's bedtime's got to go. Sorry, Tony. No problem, mate. That's no problem. But I appreciate you sending these out to me. That's really, really nice of you. And that's good. That is good. A good amount of something. So pepper, sandalwood, a coconutty smell, definitely. A little bit, I don't know where I'm getting this smoke from, but there's a little bit of smoke in there. And some lemon. So this is good. But it's definitely a hit of sandalwood in the opening. It's nice. It's very nice, actually. I don't get pepper on skin. Okay, well, I'm getting something not spicy almost, but yeah, I'm getting this hint of, wow. Hi, Jim. Thanks for joining, mate. Appreciate it. It's good. It's quite dry. It's the dry sandalwood. Thank you, Mia. That's good. I like that. So I'm going to rate that an 8 out of 10. Not my favourite of them. Still, that's interesting though. It's one of the more interesting, definitely. Spice is always sharper on paper. Well, there we go. I'd imagine that's good on skin. That I'm going to enjoy wearing some of these on skin and getting to know them better. Let's move on to New York, Fifth Avenue. New York, Fifth Avenue. Right. We're getting through nicely. Wanted to be live, by the way, for about an hour. So we've got about 20 minutes left. And we have 4 left to do. So I think we're doing okay for time. Everyone is after your skin, Tony. What else have you sampled so far? So yeah, the ones I've sampled, Mia, are Ood Rose Intense, Ood Orange Intense, Ood Jean Intense, Sarah, Brunda Martin, and Santel Complete. They're the ones I've tried so far. Now, New York, Fifth Avenue. What is this like? Let's check out the notes. Now, I don't know if anyone, now I've been streaming on my phone previous to this, and getting this MacBook has been a revelation because I've got different tabs open. You're not losing me. I'm able to look up the notes and stuff, chat and do everything from one device. Now, you don't know how easier that is for me to handle. It's so good. So New York Fifth Intense. Just reading through the comments, sorry. Now, this isn't as expensive as some of the others either. 100 ml of it is £225, and it's only got the one size available. So 225. There's a lot of niche fragrances are in around that money, so fairly reasonable for 100 ml, I would say, for a niche fragrance brand, especially a luxury niche fragrance brand. So let me just run through the notes with you. So this one has top note is a spicy citrus one with a hint of floral accords, cinnamon, coriander, orange, blackberry, bay leaf, and rose. Then it comes a balsamic woody and the floral heart note with olibanum, guaiac wood, clove, vanilla, honey, immortelle, and orchid. So, and then it's also the complex accords require a very strong base. So the base has vetiver, cedarwood, oud oil, myrrh, patchouli, musk, labdanum, and oak moss. So this is an array of notes. This has a lot in it. So I'm expecting this to be a really, really interesting fragrance. Not really impressed by any or Intense, pleasant but not groundbreaking. The Intense is better than normal Fifth Avenue, says M3. So this isn't the Intense, this is the normal Fifth Avenue. So let's see what I think of this. It's one of these most complimented fragrances. Okay. There's a lot going on in this. Just give that a second to settle a moment. I'm putting quite a few sprays on there. Okay, so from the card immediately, did I say this has rose in? Yeah, so rose is a lot more predominant in this. Lizzie, I think you would like this. I can smell the rose immediately. Yeah, so this is to me a much more what I expected Oud Rose Intense to be a little bit more like. It's definitely more rose and oud than other things, I would say. Oh, Intense is the one that gets you compliments. Okay, sorry about that. But quite light still. It's not an animalic oud. It's quite well done. So a very soft, I would say, rose. Not as deep as rose or as powdery as something like in Delina. It's quite a soft rose, but it was unmistakably rose. I was holding it from here and I sprayed it and I could get rose pretty much immediately. So mostly rose, a little bit feminine, I would say. But if you love rose fragrance, don't let me judge that. You know what I'm like with saying things like this. But how did you find Sahara Oud? Oh, Sarah, sorry. Mia, that's brilliant. Such a great fragrance. I've got it on. That's the only one I sprayed on my hand. You can still see the sheen on my hand, and it's getting nicer and nicer as. It's so good. This is sweet though. This has got. It's not gendered, Heather, but sometimes you know what my thoughts are on this. It's. I won't get into that whole conversation now. This is. I think it's just rose. It's just florals to me occasionally, not mainly rose. But if there's got too much white florals, it's too much like I associate it more as a more feminine fragrance. But this has got enough going on in. It's a bit. It's got a little bit of spice. It's got some creaminess and some sweetness to it. So I'm going to actually take that back. I hope you're happy with that. I will take it back. But that is good. That is something I would wear it, happily wear it. I wouldn't be uncomfortable wearing that. It's good. It's good. No, Tony, just asking. It's difficult to say, Heather. It's always a difficult conversation to have. But there is, if you're going left or right of feminine and masculine, to me, I hate to do it this way, but I'll go slightly that way. I really would. So there's about 2% oiled. Okay, it's good though. That is, it's interesting. It's not as interesting as the others. I'm going to go with the same rating as I gave Brunda Martin, and that's going to be 7.5. It's a nice fragrance, not one I would be overly excited to own, but I can see why people would really like it. There we go. So that is New York Fifth Avenue. Right, on to the next one. New York Intense. Here we go. Right, so is this a lot better than New York Fifth Avenue? Let's have a look. Let that settle for a moment. Wow, okay. So a lot more rude. And I'm doing that from this distance. Yeah, so this is slightly more medicinal than Fifth Avenue. Slightly more oody, less. Yeah, I would agree. This is better, I think, than New York Fifth Avenue. It's got more going on. It's a little bit more interesting. It's a little bit more oody. It's a little bit less floral, I would say. It's good. It's good. This is some woods. Some almost like a. I don't know if you agree with this, M3, but it's like a chocolate sort of texture and feel to it and smell. That's nice. It's really, really nice. That is better than the other one. Wow. Some spices, some lovely Christmassy spices in there. And there's almost like there's some sort of benzoin or something. There's something sweet in there. There's something sort of a little bit thick and resinous. The oud is a little bit more prominent in this than the others. But again, none of these have been barnyardy or difficult to wear at all. Thank you, Claire. I really appreciate you joining. It's lovely of you to pop in. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Don't get the spices. You do on card. It's like a Christmassy oud. That's what I get. It's like a slightly medicinal, not barnyardy oud. A little bit of spice, a little bit of sort of like a Christmas spice. A little bit woody, a little bit balsamic, a little bit chocolatey. Nice, very nice. And I would imagine, yes, I would imagine this is better on skin. This is, it's got enough sweetness in there to make it a very nice fragrance. I can see why people would really like that. I'm not going to mark it as high as I have some of the others. I'm going to go with that at 8. 8 out of 10. I like it. I like it. Right, let's move on to the next one. Milano. We've got 2 left, by the way. We are cracking through these. Makes you feel rich. Okay. Milano. Let's see what this one is all about. This is really exciting doing this. I'm really enjoying this. Don't know why I haven't done this more, because this is good. Hi, Stephen. I've got Milano. Okay. I like Milano a lot. Right, let's see what's in this one. Now, if you were picking a fragrance out, I was picking one out and going by names and guessing what's going to be in them, I would probably pick Milano or Ood Orange Intense based on my taste. I don't know what's in Milano, but it would be something that I think that I would enjoy based on the name. Let's check the notes, shall we? So a fresh citrus top, spicy top, Sicilian bergamot, orange, saffron and thyme. Wow, okay. Aromatic magic touch of olibanum, jasmine and fruity notes. And then base notes of vanilla, musk, amber, and a generous amount of exclusive leather. Right, this sounds more like it. This sounds good. Right, let's now again, going by the notes, I would I'm guessing I would like this too. I got a little bit off the card. I'm sprayed a lot now, so I'm starting to struggle a little bit. I'm going to think about at my limit of what I could take. Only one more to go though after this. Oh, wow. Okay. Wow, that is good. That is really, really good. Ooh, wow. That is sweet, addictive. Smells a little bit salty. Can't get the leather's not coming through yet, really. It's not, if it is, it's not heavy. It's very smooth. Blending on this. I don't know who's created this one, but this is, wow. Ooh, that's so, so good. Sweet, woody again, citrusy, some fruit. It's got fruit. It's not, this is a little bit more fruits than citrus. Oh, that orange, the saffron's got some sweet spices in there. The vanilla is just creeping through. It's got this sort of slight, it's a very light, easy fragrance to wear, but it seems to wear, I've not worn it, very light, easy fragrance to smell, but it's got some interesting notes in there. It's got some depth. Wow. Something slightly, ever so slightly, just a hint of something green in there. Only very, very slight though. Yeah, and the greenness is going for a little bit more. It's a little bit green. Oh, wow. Spray it on. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to put all these on skin. I saved Sarah for skin, and that was based on people's recommendation. That is so, so good. My rating on that is going up from my original. This is good though. This is something that Catty, Kit Kat, I think you'd like this. This is in the same realms of something like 40 knots. This is good. This is really, really nice. But just like this tiny, tiny, tiny hint of greenness off the paper. And I'm not into sort of really, really overly green fragrances, but there's a lot more going on. It's citrusy, fruity, woody, a little bit spicy. Nice. Very, very nice. That's good. I like that. Jasmine in it too. Yeah, a little bit of floral. Interesting. Roll your sleeves up. Right, so that's nice. I like that a lot. What do I give it a rating? Let's go. I'm going to go 8.5 on that. I really like that. Again, in some ways, not as interesting as others, but that's because it's not as deep and dark as some of the other fragrances. But that is very fresh, very clean, and very, very easy wear that would be. Very nice. Right, on to the last one. And this is Cannabis Intense. Now, who's tried this? Is this, does this smell like a lot like cannabis? Because that scares me a little bit. I'm not the best. I find it a little bit sickly and sweety. The smell of cannabis. I'm not really a big fan. It's not something like I've never really. Oh, well, I've never done drugs at all. But when friends have smoked it when I've been younger and stuff, that smell and the smell on people that you know instantly when someone walks past you in the street, you know they're smelling it because it just literally fills the air. It's not really a fragrance I really enjoy. I find it a little bit sickly sweet, if that makes sense. So I'm a little bit worried about this one. Let's give it a go. Okay, right. So it's not got that. Cannabis is definitely present, 100%. You can get that cannabis note, and they've done that really, really well because it's like the leaf. It's a green cannabis. It's like what you'd smell if you smelt the leaf. It's not got that dank, overly sweet and overly ripe feel to it that people that smoke it smell of. I'm sorry. Uh, but yeah, this is like the leaf. It's a little bit earthy, a little bit green, but you can definitely smell cannabis in there. But it's not overdone at all. It's not something that I wouldn't not wear because of that. I would, with that type of fragrance. Do I want to wear it to work, for example, and be conscious that people think I smell of cannabis? It's not something that interests me at all, and I don't want to give that impression to anyone else of myself. So Lizzie, I had lots of friends that smoked it when I was younger, and I have smelt my fair share of cannabis. It's just not it's just not me, unfortunately. But there's some sweetness in there too. There is something in there that's it's quite an easy fragrance still. It's not challenging at all. They do one called so this is called Cannabis Intense. They do one called Cannabis Blue. Does anyone know the difference? Intense, right. So the price of this one is £249. I believe that's the 100 ml. So again, not one of their most expensive fragrances. It's got some citrus in it. It's got some it feels like it's got some citrus, and it's got some depth. It's got some spice. Definitely spice, not spicy, but sweet. Again, a lot of these have got like a sweet spice to them, but this has definitely got sweet spice. It says actually cannabis is a green note. Difficult to work. Takes a lot of trial and error, they say. It's got some spicy head of cardamom, pink pepper. Yeah, so it has saffron, nutmeg. So it is. This one's probably the spiciest of those fragrances. So it's slightly spicy, slightly green. It says it's got some oud oil in there too, but I don't really get an oud. A little bit woody. Orange is nice in there. It's got like this tangerine note that's very, very nice. And that tangerine note mixed with the spices, I'm trying to. And actually, it's settling back and it doesn't smell as sort of cannabis like as you might expect. Wow, okay. It's really tickling the nose, this one. I think maybe, I don't know if it's just because I've smelt an awful lot now, but it's a great, I mean, I really enjoyed going through the brand because I tell you what surprised me. I thought that this would be a much more challenging brand. And from what I've tried, it's not challenging at all. Wow. Okay. So that is I like it actually. I wouldn't say I dislike it, and I don't smell overly of. Doesn't smell overly of cannabis. I could have done with some coffee just to sniff along the way, but it's nice. I'm going to say 7.5 again. It's not 100% to my taste, but it is quite nice. I think Bex would smell it and go, okay, yeah, that's all right. And I think I'll tell you why I think I like it. I think it's the spices. I love spicy fragrances. I like spicy. I like fragrances that really tickle the nostrils, and that whether that be pepper or saffron. But there are lots of other things that. Let me just put that down a little bit so I can sit back a little tiny bit. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I. That's good, really good. So that is Cannabis Intense. Now let me go through and sniff them again. Tell you what I wrote, and I rate them, and I'll give you maybe one or two. I think you're probably going to guess what my favourites are already. I think I'm guessing already, but I'm going to give them all one loss now. So I'm getting a little bit more of the dry down on them, and then I'll tell you what I like the most. Once you try this house, it's hard going back to others because they smell so amazing, but not all the ouds. Now, yeah, none of these that I've smelled are really overly oody. Probably the New York Intense was probably the most oody, but even then it was sweet, not like a barnyardy oud. So that wasn't too bad at all. Who's this football hooligan today? That's me. Didn't feel ashamed to wear it because Spurs had a good win. Right, so Ood Rose Intense. Bex, you're in the chat. You're going to like this. I'm going to bring these upstairs when I've finished. I'm going to get Bex to sniff them and see what she rates them as and what she will prefer. But Bex would like that. It's not oody and rosy at all. It's actually very fresh. But to me, not the best of them, just because it's a little bit uninspiring. It's musky, it's a little bit sweet, it's a little bit woody, but not oody or rosy. I think Bex would like that. It's a nice fragrance. To me, not the most interesting, and I'm going to keep my rating of that as 7. I don't think any of these are less than a 7. Actually, I think I'd be very harsh if I'm going lower than that. There's not one I've not liked. I was expecting to go, oh no, leave it, no, I can't do that, and I've not done that with one of them. Rose oud, that's not oody or rosy. Yeah, this is the problem I've got with that one, Kit Kat, 100%. Right, Oud Orange Intense. So good. Wow. That's so nice. Orange and vanilla, and that's so nice. So that I rated a 9.5, 9 point. Now, if I had the money, I'd go and buy that immediately. So nice. Wow. Okay. Right. I'm going to change my rating on that, and I'm going to go 9.5 out of 10. So up my street. It is a little bit sort of gourmand territory with that sweet orange and vanilla note in there. But it's got some depth and some interesting notes in there along with it. It's so well blended. Wow. A bit musky. That's nice. That is really, really nice. Okay, so 9.5 out of 10. I'm going to move that over to this side because that is definitely one of my favourites. Right, Ood Jean Intense. This was the white floral fragrance that I said what Bex would like again. This to me, personally, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. This is a little bit design. This is the most designer of these fragrances. This is your typical jasmine-y, white floral, with a little bit of sweetness in there. I find it personally, I think Bex would like it. I think this would, for me personally, it's a little tiny bit heady. So I'm actually going to bring that down a little bit, just purely because it is, smelling it again, it's a little bit more designery, and I think I was a little bit probably generous in my rating on that, I'll be honest. So I'm going to bring that back down to a 7 out of 10 as well. I think Bex would like it, and I think Beck's rating of it might be very different. So that's another one for Bex to try. I think she'll like it. Right, on to Sarah. Big smile. This is the one Bex won't like. So nice. Now, right, this is the importance of paper and skin. I cannot stress this enough. And this is difficult because I've not done them all on skin, so this isn't fair, because in an ideal world, you get these all on skin to rate them properly. So just bear in mind, this is a little bit more of a first impressions, but the skin compared to the paper is a little bit, it's actually a lot more. This is more oody than I remember it in the first spray. And the paper on this comes across as a lot more animalic than it does on the skin. The skin changes this fragrance completely, 100%. And it is, smelling it again on paper, I would have marked that a much lower fragrance, especially the second time round time, the bit more of a dry down. I would have lowered my rating on this. But having it on skin next, like, it's just incredible. So I'm going to give that. Do I like it as much as Oud Orange Intense? Touch more interesting, if I'm being honest, a touch more interesting, but based on something that's based on something that's my taste, I don't like it as much as Oud Orange Intense. Not quite, but it's bloody good. It really is. Excuse my French, but it's really good. So I'm going to mark this one a 9 out of 10, which went up, by the way, because I initially marked it as an 8.5. So that actually came up just a touch, but much more animalic on the card, much nicer on the skin. That is gorgeous on the skin. And I'm a bit disappointed on the card. So different. How dare you not put this at hashtag number 1? I'm so sorry. Right, on to Brunda Martin. Now, this has gone a lot more floral, this one. This is, again, something Bex would really like. White floral, a little bit maybe aquatic. That's nice. It's nice. I'm going to keep it where my rating was. I rated it 7.5. And again, I'm going to put it in the mix with Oud Rose Intense and Ood Jean Intense. It's not anything special compared to those two, in my opinion, but it's nice. I think your daughter has your tripod. Right, on to the next one. That's why I get a bit pushy in Boots when they shove paper strip at me. That's not French, Tony. I'm very low down. That's because I'm sitting back. Is this better, Bex? This is how I was. I just sat back and relaxed a little bit more. Is that all right? It's because of my laptop. I'm on my laptop. Is that better? Do you prefer me close to the screen or further away from the screen? Right. Actually, don't answer that. You're high up. We are low down. Is that better? Just got to tilt the laptop. Is that better though? Santel Complete. Ooh. This reminds me of something else. No, it's not better. Okay. Is that better? Can you see all of me? Is that okay? Yes, okay. Sit back and thanks, Wayne. That's really nice of you to say so. I'll sit back and relax. Is that better? This reminds me of Santal 33 a little bit, and I think it's the heavy sandal, and it's not the same name, and I'm taking an easy cop out. It's got that same sort of sandalwood note. It's a little bit just seeing the antlers coming out of your head. Yeah, see, what I want to do, last time I think I sat so the antlers were coming out and you could just see antlers. But there we go, that is nice. I rated it 8. I'm going to mark it down a little bit, I'm sorry, but this is going to go down to 7.5. Being a little bit more flippant with my scores now. So it's in with the other 4 there on that side. New York, 5th Avenue. Your typical rose oud fragrance. Not too strong, not overly dumb. Tony tries to become a Penhall again. Not in that hooligan top. What are you all up to? Trouble, you lot. Trouble. That is really nice. I'm going to leave it in the others at 7.5. I'm sorry. Need to get on skin with Santel. Right, okay. Just for you, Carlino, I am going to put Santel. I like Santel for... oh, I like it. I rated it 8 last time. So I obviously like it. I'm trying to find it, sorry. Santel Complete. Let's get it on skin. Just because, right, plenty on the skin there. Gonna leave that to dry a little bit. Bex, I'm gonna come up smelling good. Right. New York Intense. I'll go back to that. New York Intense. Yeah, see, that is much, much more interesting than New York 5th Avenue. A slightly more aromatic oud on there. And I'd imagine going by the difference of Sarah on skin to thing, I'd imagine this is much better on skin than on paper. That is good. I'm going to leave it at the score. So slightly, it's 8 out of 10 for me, that one. Milano. Now, I really liked this one the last time round. I marked this 8.5 out of 10. Yeah, see, this has got much more, excuse me, it's got much more green on the paper than the first time I smelt this. I said it was slightly green, but it's got more green. Almost like citrus and grass cutting, almost that green. It's a lot more greener. Very nice though, a little bit sort of, imagine wearing this with a suit and tie and just smell really, really good. It is really nice, actually. It's just more green than it was in my first one. That's nice. Just wish it had more protection. It's good off the card. That's going well off the card. I like that. I'm going to put it over this side. I mark that 8.5. I'm going to keep it at that score. So slightly below the other 2, my favourites, but a great fragrance. And Cannabis Intense. Yeah, see, that's nice. That is really nice. I'm going to put the score up on this because it does smell a little bit of cannabis. I'm going to be honest. They've got that note. In terms of how much you'd want it to smell of it, so you know it's there, but you won't want it too much. They've got that perfectly. The blending on this, again, is incredible. Very, very cleverly done. Very cleverly done. But I'd be a little bit self-conscious. I really would be a little bit self-conscious. But it does smell good. Citrusy greens. Does smell a little bit of that cannabis note. Slightly woody. And lots of spices. So I think the spices are... I think the spices are something that I like more about this. But I like that. And that's going to go over the side where I would... I would think I would own this. Whether I'd own it at the price, it's one of the cheaper ones. But actually, I find it quite intriguing. I just don't know... Actually, no, I'm not going to put it over that side. I'm going to move it this side, but I'm going to move it to the top of that side because it is very, very nice. Yes, spices more than cannabis. I think it is, but it's good. It's nice. Right. Skin. Yeah, see, I get that totally. That is, let's move back up again. That is above, that's above Cannabis Intense. And I'm going to put it, instate it back to 8 8. I mark Cannabis Intense 7.5. I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to mark this as an 8. And yeah, it's much, much better on skin. So I think we've learnt a lesson from these, that if you're going to test these out yourself, get them on skin. Please get them on skin, because they are different on paper. They're so different. That is so different. That was almost gone a little bit, dare I say it, a little bit more boring on the paper, whereas on the skin it just projects more. It it, it just feels much nicer, a little bit warmer. That's nice. So I'm going to move. I'm going to move that over to that side. But I'm going to rate these. I'm going to give them in order of what I liked based on my taste. Everyone's different. Please, please beware that it might not be your taste, but I'm just giving you what I think. So, little disclaimer there. Oud Orange Intense was my favourite. I love it, and I cannot wait to wear that on skin, because I think that'll be even better. So, Oud Orange Intense was my favourite, followed closely by Sarah. Then I would say Milano, then Santel Complete, and then onto the other side, Cannabis Intense at the top end of those because of the spices, New York Intense close by, and then in the bottom 4, which I think some of Bex's favourite will be, we're not all the same, Oud Rose Intense, Ood Jean Intense, New York Fifth Avenue, and Brunda Martin. None of them have shocked me. None of them are completely out there. I really, really thought that these would be a lot more barnyardy and Becca would be going nowhere near them. But this is the box, in case you didn't see it at the beginning. Thanks again to the lovely Umar from Irresistible Parfums. That is what comes in the bottle. So I've still got a good amount of wearing and getting to know these fragrances. I would say probably a couple of wants from that, and one absolute new love, which is what we all want to do when we smell new things, is hopefully find new loves. So the one I said had a designer feel was Ood Jean Intense. And that is because it's your typical, almost French perfume that you would find, the sort of top end perfume that you'd find in Boots. So it smells like other things. So that is the most designer to me. Very nice. And actually, I wouldn't mind Becca smelling of that at all. Personally, it's the most feminine of that whole range to me as well. So if you're a gent that's not into your florals at all, I would say don't do that one, because that is the most feminine of all. Most of the, I would say all of them actually, apart from that, are 100% unisex. And I said one of them actually leans slightly feminine, but even that was like near the middle. That is definitely Bex would like it, but it's not something I would want to personally smell of. And it's quite designer, that one. A great range. Really enjoyed that. Really enjoyed doing that. If you enjoyed it, I'm going to hopefully bring you another one in the week. I'm not sure which one I'm going to do yet. I've got this this rather large box from. I'm trying to think of the name of it. Scott's got the same box. I'd like to bring you those at some point. But thank you to everybody for joining me. Hopefully you've all enjoyed it. I certainly did. I got a lot from that, and it's just something that I thought. Now, Bex, I did spray one being nosy. I washed it up twice, and all I smelled was camel oud. Okay. Yeah, if you've not hit that like button, thank you. Javoy, thank you, Scott. Appreciate it. Now, it's for whatever reason, it's completely lost. But I really enjoyed doing that. That Javoy box, I'm really looking forward to. There's cards in there. I've got all the notes on. I hope you found the reviews to be as honest as possible, and I hope that you enjoyed getting my take on them. But thank you again to everybody. I am going to be ending the stream in just a couple of minutes. Hi, Scott. Thanks for joining, mate. Appreciate it. I hope you got something from that. Awesome stream as always. Oh, thank you, Heels. That's very nice of you. Thank you. Great live, D'Angelo. Thank you, everyone. Really appreciate the really positive feedback. Thank you. If you like that, I'm going to be bringing more of them anyway, because people seem to enjoy it. Dean, not sure about the jacket. There's nothing to not be sure about. Find some love for the Spurs. They're playing well all of a sudden again, which I am very, very pleased about. But no, thank you, everyone. You are all diamonds. Love you all. And I will see you again in the week, hopefully for another evening. So I hope you enjoy your rest, what's left of your Sunday. For us in the UK, it's evening. Only there for the jacket. Thank you, Luke. And I will see you all again. I might wear my other Spurs jacket that I've got that's like this next time. Oh God. Okay. Right. I'm definitely off now because Scott. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. And I will catch you all very, very, very soon. Love to you all. Take care. Bye. Don't forget to hit the like. Don't forget.